Hey everyone. Well, as you can see, I'm back. I know it's been weeks since since the last time I did a video. Well, there's a reason for that. Towards the time that I was about 8 months pregnant, my husband and I, once I became about or getting close to 8 months pregnant, we decided that sorry people, we decided that it was gonna be in mine and the baby's best interest if we left as soon as possible from Arizona. That's where we were at for the winter time. Uh, we left and we thought it would take maybe about a week or two. Nope. It took us. Well, we were going to leave just. We were going to leave around the end of March. That didn't happen. We ended up leaving somewhat, maybe a little after the beginning of April, and it took us about 2-3 weeks to get back to our home state. Yeah, that was fun. The route we took, not exactly great. I think the next time we winter in Arizona, I think we're gonna choose a different route. Because the route we took, yes, it said the quickest route to back to our home state. Fine. It took us to the bloody freaking mountains of Arizona, and our truck is a Ford F-250 Super Duty. It's not diesel either. Yeah. When you attach a 30-foot RV to a 250, yes, it can pull. Yes, it can haul the RV. It don't do well in mountains with an RV attached to it. It really don't do well. That's more of a joke than anything else. So best to have a 350 on you, and a 450 to be able to get through the mountains with the RV attached to it. Seriously, it's a 250 just does not do the trick. Now it's fine on flat land. It's totally fine on flat land. It's okay with hills, with the exception the higher the climbing radius, the harder it is for a 250 Super Duty to get up with the RV attached to it. It really is. So, with that being said, we did obviously, of course, we're like I said before, we're back here in our home state, home city, and we are had the baby. So we, though granted, when we got here, we got here just the nick of time. We really did. Because shortly after we got back to where we're at now, for delivery and everything, well, yeah, I went into labor naturally. My water broke. I started having pain. And, well, and on top of all that, there are certain things of which I know can disgust people, so I'm just not going to go there. But just so you know, I did start experiencing the signs of labor, natural labor. and we went to our hospital, uh, and we went to our hospital to see our doctor's PA, and that's physician's assistant. Ugh. And when we got there, I started telling her all the different signs I was having and everything, and because I had scheduled a regular checkup, just a checkup, and I wanted to go over delivery. I wanted to go over all the different things that we needed to do. Yeah, that's the thing. Why might God laugh? Tell me your plans. We told him our plans. He just decided that they were going to go a different route. So instead of being able to formulate a birthing plan and everything else, I went into labor, and well, at least I thought because the Fetcher I was describing the signs of labor, because I was 50-50. I didn't know whether I was having Braxton Hicks or if I was actually having labor. So she had me go down to the ER, and I got checked out and everything. And at the ER is where we found out, yeah, you're in labor. We're going, okay then. And then after that, we were told, well, when we started getting into the ER, we were told in the fracture that our hospital's maternity ward was not yet finished. We're going, no. Both me and my husband were seriously disappointed in that, because we were severely hoping to have the baby where we were at, not to have to go another half mile, another half an hour or more to to have our baby. Well, that didn't turn out to be the case. We had to do an extra 45 minutes to have our kid. So, and so they transported me to the I'm going to call sister hospital, in a different place, obviously. And there they did an ultrasound on me, and as the tech was doing the ultrasound, guess what our baby decided to do? Do a reverse on me. The baby was heads first, but at the last possible split moment, the baby decided to go breech. Yeah, not fun. I was hoping to do a natural birth, but because the baby decided to go breech, and because there wasn't enough fluid around the baby for the doc or anybody else to actually get the baby to turn around to go head first, and because I was in active labor, they decided that C-section was going to be the only way to go. So, and I could tell, but with the doc, with my husband, that I was just not going to win the battle. I just was not going to win that battle to have a natural birth. So I'm like, okay, fine, let's just do it. And so they started getting the room set and ready to go for the C-section stuff. They brought me into the room, and then they had me, and then they transferred me from that bed to obviously the table for the C-section. And then the anesthesiologist took a needle and poked me in about 4 to 6 different places on my back. No, it was no epidural whatsoever. I had an epidural for our first kid. What they told me with the epidural was that it was going to feel like 1,000 beings stinging me in one area. They did not lie at all about that. My first child, yes, that's what I ended up doing, because the Fetcher was I thought I knew what the pain was going to be like. Nope. So I did request an epidural for our first kid, and I remember the stinking when they put the needle in, it was like 1,000 stinking bees, or a whole entire swarm, a whole entire net. I'm not entirely sure if nests can have over 1,000 bees, but oh my gosh, it felt like I had 1,000 bees stinging me in one area on my back, in one spot, like just a continual jab, 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 jab. Oh my gosh, it hurt so much. The anesthesiologist for our second baby, it didn't feel like 1,000 bees, but it definitely hurt. I screamed. I'm not gonna deny it. I'm not gonna hide that factor. I screamed for the first poke. That hurt. And I mean, it hurt to for the needle to go in. Oh my gosh. And then and then he did about 3-5 times. 3 or 4 more times, 3 or 5 more times, and it was to numb me up for like most of my body. Not even a joke. They had to numb up most of my body, and then I had to lie down, like I was lying down on a cross. I am not kidding. That's how I had to lie down, and then, with. Oh my gosh, yeah. So I ended up being kind of ish numb. Like the numbness definitely went from my feet all the way up to like it sort of stopped at my chest, but my chest was still kind of numb. And but then like everything else below it, most definitely numb. And because I didn't feel a thing. And so they got that taken care of with me, and then I lied down, and after they had gotten the whole entire situation, well, once they got once I got everything prepped and ready for the action for the C-section, they brought my husband down. He came in, and I'm not gonna lie to you people, during that whole entire process, before my husband came in and after, before my husband came in, I was already freaking out. I was already worried and scared because I never had gone through a C-section before. Never, not ever. And so I'm only saying this because this is what I had to do for myself personally. For my faith and my belief, which is in God, in the Lord Jesus himself. For me personally, I'm not gonna deny this nor try to hide the fact that I started begging, pleading Jesus himself to please and thank you, to bring me comfort, bring me peace, to give me a freaking hug and comfort, because I needed to know that everything was gonna be okay. I needed to know that because, like I said before, the C-section stuff, first time, never had to do that before. And so, because my daughter, because our first kid was technically natural. Not per se technical, natural birth. Granted, I didn't deal with all the pain that came with it, but our kid was still naturally born, not our second kid. So because of that factor, I did start freaking out and worried and scared. So I just started begging Jesus. I begged and pleaded with him to bring me comfort, to bring me some peace, to give me a hug, to just let me know that everything was going to be okay. And I'm not going to swear by the Bible nor by God, but I'm not going to swear by the Bible or by God at all. I'm letting you know, people, that it was one of those moments where when I started seeking him out, I instantly got an answer back. And I instantly started feeling his presence around me, and comfort and peace. And I felt him, and this is a rare coincidence. This is a rare thing for me. Well, maybe not too rare, but insanely, where it seriously felt like I could feel him hugging me. I'm not kidding you, people. I seriously felt as if it felt like I literally had his arms wrapped around me. I needed that so badly. I needed it because inside of me, I wasn't doing too good. As you can know, it was the tip of my face. I wasn't doing too good. Now, granted, I was breathing, trying to stay calm, trying to stay collected, trying not to freak out or panic, because I knew if I did that, it would only cause more issues, more trouble. But at the same time, I needed my faith, and I needed my husband. I needed my husband. I needed my Jesus, and I needed my husband. So for that reason alone, when my husband came down, okay. So for that reason alone, I had to. When he came down, and he got behind me, he started reaching. I started reaching out, and he just reached out his arm to me, and just with the way that he was, it did bring extra comfort, extra support, and I needed it. I needed it. Now, for some of you women, you're going, you're a wuss. You can think that all you want to. I don't care. You can think I'm a wuss all you want to. I don't care. I really don't. Because I'm not going to deny the factor of where I was at mentally and emotionally. I'm not going to deny it. And some people would go, that's fine. You can go, all you want to. That's totally fine. But I couldn't do that. I'm sorry. I just cannot do that. Now, that may be considered weak or, not so. But to me, the factor of I think when you show your weak side, that's actually being vulnerable. And being vulnerable is insanely scary. It is insanely scary to be vulnerable with people sometimes. It seriously is. And but when you allow yourself to be vulnerable with people, it allows for others to see you, to really see you. So, so when my husband got in and everything, they started doing the procedure, the C-section procedure, and I got done. And when they got, I'm dead serious. One of the other things I was grateful for was the fact that God Almighty definitely sent a person who had been uh who had who had been doing this stuff for a very long time. The doc who talked to us about all this stuff, he had admitted in the fact that he had been doing this stuff for 32 years. And I'm going, 32 years? Okay. Because I'm going, you've had plenty of experience, plenty of chances to have things screw up, have things go awry, or something somehow the situation turned out to be, it may have started off really well, but then it went south, or something of the sort. He's had multiple chances to have a bad situation happen to him while doing a C-section, and so therefore I'm going, okay, if something goes bad and something like that, not only is my husband going to be there to help them out, and not only and for a good portion of the team that was there, they've been doing their own thing for a decent sized while. So I'm going, okay, cool, fine. But the doc himself, I knew that if something went south, my husband could possibly help out, but then like the doc himself would be able to stay cool and collected, have, just to have just be able to just, I guess you could say have a sound mind, but he would be able to go, okay, this is what we need to do. This is how we need to do it. Let's go, let's go, let's go, let's move people. And he would be able to tell which person had to do what for how long and all that other stuff. So because of the factor for 32 years of experience, yeah, I was totally okay with him doing it, because I'm going, you would know what to do. You would know how it needs to go and everything else. So I am totally okay with it. So yeah, he started the procedure a little after my husband got there, and it actually went pretty dang quick. Not even a joke, it went pretty dang quick. And when the baby was born, of course, we heard the baby cries and everything else and they immediately went from taking the baby out of me to putting the baby into a baby warmer and just getting him taken care of and all that jazz, which I'm grateful for. And then they went from that to, and my husband, he was just like, what's the sex? What's the sex? And he goes, what's the sex of the baby? What's the sex of the baby? And because because I was only able to do one ultrasound while I was pregnant, and it was the first one. Now, granted, I was actually a little bit later on in my pregnancy than what your normal typical first ultrasound would be. So, because of that factor, the tech said, well, possibility it's this. Now, because of the factor that, it was still early on in my pregnancy and everything, it could have not been what that first ultrasound tech said it was. Now, the second ultrasound tech could not pinpoint the gender of the baby. So, okay, fine. Well, when the baby was born, that's why my husband said that. And so when they said, it's this, he goes, okay, cool. And then, so yeah, my husband was definitely happy. And and so we picked, so my husband goes, you want to name our kid this then? If you want to name our, name our baby this? And I'm going, yeah, sure, I'll be all right, honey. I'm all right with it. Now, the name of our kid is a little weird, but it's a name that has, and both, before we even started having kids, my husband and I both agreed in the fact that we would want to have all of our kids have a biblical name, and in my opinion, an honorable biblical name. And this kid has an honorable biblical name. Definitely unique, honorable biblical name. So I'm not mad. And then, okay, and then once everything was said and done with getting the baby out of me, They still had to put, put all my insides together, put everything back in order, put back everything into place and everything. And then, and so that took a while. I won't lie, that took a while. And then my husband, he just stayed with me and everything, chatted with me, tried to keep me chipper and everything. He goes, "You know what? You're acting a lot better than what I thought you'd be." And I'm going, he goes, "I thought you thought I'd be figuring out everything." He goes, "Yeah." And he goes, "Honey, I may not look like on the outside, but trust me, on the inside, that is so. I am not doing. I'm like, he goes, "You're calm and everything." I'm going, "I'm not doing that on the inside." I'm not doing it on the inside. I was pure blunt with him, and he goes, "Yeah, well, still, you know what you're doing? It's called self control." And I'm going, "Point." So, yeah, he was just, my husband was seriously great. Honestly, I don't know people. He was seriously great. He was totally supportive and just right there, and just made sure that me and our baby were doing all right and everything else of the sort. And uh, he stayed with me uh, when they reeled me out of the room, and the baby came right behind us and everything. And so, all in all, everything went well. Baby and I are both healthy and fine. Although, and then now, granted, now I was, and then all those for something that happened a little bit later. Um, the recovery took a bit of time. It took about 4 days. 4 days after the procedure happened, that I started actually getting better. Uh, C-sections hurt. They really do hurt. Um, or at least not the process of getting one, but the process of recovering from one. It does hurt. The process of recovering from a C-section does hurt, and uh, it was very much of a learning curve for me of what a C-section, of recovering from a C-section is like. Um, so yeah, and then but baby and I were then released because things were looking good, things were looking fine, and so baby and I were released from the hospital, and then a month after our baby was born, we did weight and lab test, and well, both ended up showing extreme concerns for the doctor, for the pediatrician, and his staff. So they sent us back to they sent us back into not the birthing, not the hospital that I gave birth in, but a hospital in a different city, because they weren't, because the hospital that we have that's here in this town is not suited for taking care of well, what our baby is right now. And so, I know what our child is considered. Um, our child is considered a preemie. Um, yeah, I had our child a little early, just a little, not incredibly early, but early. And and so we took our kid to the hospital that was recommended by the doctor's staff, and we were told that they would call ahead of time, and they did. Okay, and then after that, and so once we got there and everything, we got admitted. Well, once we got there and the whole stuff with the ER, we finally got admitted into a room for the pediatrics. You're you're not, yeah, for the pediatrics. Uh, huh. And after that is when some of the different things ensued. I'm not going to go into full detail, but let me put it to you this way. We were already dealing with the stress of the fact that our baby was not getting the weight that our baby needed to, but that the thyroid, our baby's thyroid was having issues too. And then on top of all that, there was a whole bunch of other different things that we are trying to get done, that we're trying to take care of while we're here. And let me put it to you this way: as I said, another situation occurred, and it just added to the stress and anxiety levels I was already having. So we took care of that one, or at least I think we did. I think. And then, but while we were at this hospital and everything, they ran tests. They ran tests and checked on things out with our baby. And what it turns out is our baby was born with a small thyroid. So because of that, we have to give our baby a type of medicine that helps out with the thyroid, so that way the baby can actually grow, will actually eat, and will actually do all the different things that they're normally supposed to do. Now, our baby was already doing some that stuff somewhat to a good degree, but not enough. So what we did, what they've done is given us that stuff, told us how to do it and everything, and then do like 2 ounces worth of feeding time, which is half breast milk, half formula. So yeah, no, it has been definitely, for the first month of our baby's life, it has been most definitely a kind of a challenge, really, because for the first 2 weeks of our baby's life, our baby did not want to eat like a regular baby should, and just a whole bunch of, and that was because that's because of the fact of the thyroid not wanting to work properly and being small. And so it's been a whirlwind, a huge whirlwind of different things, different situations happening, and different getting answers for different things, and a whole bunch of other different, oh my gosh, it's been a whirlwind, to say the least. So that's the update on that. So that's where we're at now. We're gonna have to go back every week, once a week, to do weight and labs until we're told otherwise. So that's only to make sure that everything's going right and everything's going well for our baby, which I get. So yeah, it's and we're gonna have to do that for about a month. After that, it's kind of like, okay, and we have to see a specialist for the thyroid stuff, and we have to see the pediatrician. Like I said, people, it's been a whirlwind. If any of you have been through this type of stuff before, and have experienced what it's like to give birth to a preemie, and different things of that, please just, I would like to hear from you. I'd like to know. I would like to hear personal experiences and everything, because this is, oh my lands, for me, this is a whole different other ballpark I'm having to deal with. So yeah, it's a learning curve again for me. For me personally, it's a learning curve. For my husband, it's more of like, it's not exactly all that different. I'm going, some things are similar, yes, but not everything. That's why for me, it's a whole new ballpark. It's a whole different thing. Because our first kid, full term, not the second one. So, yeah, if you been through this type of stuff, I would actually like to hear from you and like to know what you went through and everything, and what per se, what solutions and what ways have you been able to did you find to conquer and overcome the obstacles that came to you with this. I wouldn't mind knowing. Uh, and plus, I mean, I think it'd be a good thing to for each other to share um, the different experiences of what we've been through when it comes, for at least for us women, when it comes to having a C-section. Now, not every single woman has a C-section when they're pregnant and everything. Some of us women do. Now, granted, like I said before, with our first, didn't have one. Natural birth. With our second one, yes. So, yeah. Well, hey, that's the update for now. We are doing other different things to try to get ourselves caught up with, but well, not so much caught up with per se. We're more like trying to get things done and accomplished here before we hit the road again, before Jesus calls us back to the road. So yeah, and we're in a reasonable area, not that bad. Well, it's not exceptionally horrible. I'll put it to you that way. So yeah. Hey, thank you very much for listening. Thank you very much for watching. Thank you very much for joining on this journey. Like I said before in the beginning, I know that it's been weeks and weeks since I last did a video, but that was only because of the fact what that I was dealing with. We were dealing with certain type of situations, and plus, we were trying to get back to the hospital that we knew we needed to be at in order to have our baby. Pretty much. Well, again, thank you. And hopefully everything's going well for you. And hopefully all of you have had a great Memorial Day weekend. Well, I'll talk to you all later. Love you all. God bless. Bye.